So it started off with a friend like giving a group of us like this exercise to do about our core values. And they're like the top 5 core values that you absolutely need in your life that you don't want to compromise on. And for me, my top 5 were freedom, growth, joy, creativity, and intimacy, or like community. And these are all things that I really value and need. And ironically enough, they're like based on a lot of the channels and themes within my chart. And so based off of that, I created a definite statement with those words and like what my burning desire was, based off of Napoleon Hill. So I'm reading Think and Grow Rich again right now. And so I created that statement and I put it in my phone, like to go off as a reminders, like 6 to 10 times a day for me to read it and to be able to memorize it. And then I also recorded myself speaking it. And so I'll read it and then I'll listen to it. And then sometimes I'll listen to it like throughout the day. And and then so I do my Joe Dispenza meditations in the morning. Sometimes I'm tapping for like 1 to 2 hours in the morning because I'm just really going through and like finding some really intense emotions that have been kind of like slipping through the cracks. And so it's been helpful to do that. And then I've been listening to the gin tapes sometimes 2 or 3 hours a day and just other audios and then reading books. So sometimes I'm in meditation for 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm listening to audios 2 or 3 hours a day. I'm tapping for 3 to 4 hours a day. And my whole thought process behind this was like, I'm just going to reprogram my brain. Like I've been given this opportunity to have this blank slate. And I have this burning desire to not be that old person again that's negative or holds on to the past or is this angry person. And I got very clear about the type of person that I want to be and how I want to show up for other people and how I want to show up for myself. And it's like this deep, unwavering love for myself. And I'm like, okay, if it means that I'm going to sit here and I have to tap for 3 hours straight, I will do that because I love myself enough to like sit through this and to work through this. And I'm going to be patient and I'm going to go through this. And it's been like super intense. I've been doing this for the past month and it's working. It's working. It's
Yeah.
been such an interesting journey because
Yes.
it's shown me how much my thoughts and my emotions have ruled my life. I just became throughout this whole process because, I would feel really low and I'd go through these extreme highs and I would like try to force myself to feel good. And then a thought would pull me down under again. And I just really began to see these patterns within myself where my thoughts and my emotions would create this story that wasn't even true, or I would take my emotions to be literal truth or these thoughts to be literal truths, and they weren't at all. And I began to see how I was living in this complete illusion that wasn't even reality. And it wasn't even a fun reality. Like it was miserable. And so I've just become just hyper aware of these old thought patterns and I've been tapping through them and I've just been like super vigilant anytime something comes up. And I've created this like system or process for myself through the tapping and like how to do almost like inner child work in conjunction with the tapping and to allow myself to feel the emotions, to acknowledge them, and then like coach myself and walk myself through the releasing of those emotions and replacing it with something new. And so, like I said, it's just this really deep reprogramming of my brain. And it's been one of the hardest things I've ever done because there's so much resistance to it because you have these patterns and behaviors and like belief systems that have been ingrained in you for so long. And it's like you're having to reprogram all these neurological pathways in your brain and it's exhausting. But like, I mean, all hours of the day, I've just been on top of it and I've had the time to do it. And so I'm really grateful that I've been able to do that. But it's been incredibly intense. Like I'm spending hours and hours and hours a day just filling my mind so I'm not, going back to those old thought patterns. And I've been very conscious of who I've been spending my time around. Like, I mean, there is sometimes I'm hanging out with family members and they start to complain or they start to talk about, health problems or whatever. And it's like, I literally just get up and leave the room because I'm like, I'm not going to partake in this because what they're saying, they're digging themselves a grave. They're putting spells on themselves by repeating the same things over and over again. And they're creating these belief systems with their words and they don't even realize it. And that's just not the reality I want to be in. At least, like, I don't want to be around it right now while I'm in this deep process of reprogramming my brain, And so that's where I've been for the last month or so. And on top of that, I've been doing the gene keys contemplation.